I also meet people who come to me and say, first and foremost, their priority is always about financial growth. But a lot of people don't even understand there's something called equilibrium, where one can only take on a karmic financial growth based on their capacity. You overload that, what will happen? One other element will break free from you. First and foremost, I would like to cover a theory of elemental energy because everything in Blurus Malini, whether it's quantum energy, we have to bring it down to elemental. The whole world is a play of elemental. That's why those who have background on the Vedas or the Vedic system, Panchabhutangal is the cause of all sufferings as well, karmic imprints. So a little bit of theory on the element. Would just like to mention as professional advice to everyone that this presentation or topic doesn't serve to replace any professional advice that you may have. So it's a theory and how our product works with this theory. So as you can see on the left hand side, I put the theory of the 5 elements. That's from the Chinese made up physics, which is not entirely too different to the Vedic system. If you look at the Vedic system, we talk about the 5 elements, which is the Vayu, the Prithvi. Prithvi is earth, Apas is water, Vayu is air, and Agni is fire. And Akasha is the most subtle and the most unknown of all the elements. And Akash itself, there's so many forms of Akash, Akasha, Akash, ether. So on the left, what you see is the 5 elemental energy. On the right is what I call the transmuted energy of the 6th element, which many don't know, and this is the golden era. It's the 6th transformation of the energy from the sun. And as many know or may not know, that the moon is also a satellite for the earth. As you know, the moon shares the same centrifugal force of the earth, and that is why it's the only planetary body that rotates around the earth. So we have the source fire as the 6th element. There's masculine force of the source fire, and there's a feminine part of the source fire. Then this is a plasmic energy as well. The unknown energy that you see in the nebulas, in the star system, all the way to the cosmic energy of metal, and then coming into transcendent energy through the planetary bodies, which is air, mist, earth, and water. So this is the play of the 6th element that I kind of say this is the biggest change that humanity is facing. So basically what's happening to us, we are all in a process of reincarnation or resurrection, whichever way anyone wants to believe. We are going through this while being alive. So to manage this, the mental faculty, the body, the changes is so important the coming times with our dietary effect as well. So to educate a little bit on this is important, so you know that this is just not cleansing of the elements, but your diet and everything that you do in this present time is so important. Many people are advocating this, and Blurus is also trying to advocate within the capacity that we have. And whatever theory that I put here, again, is based on my transcendent understanding. I may or may not conform to the norms and theories out there. I put a percentage to show you the difference of the element and how they play. This doesn't represent the same percentage as the 70% water body, and all the different elements that we have. This is a higher percentage of element, and doesn't mean 8% is so low in impact. Actually, that 8% of the fire is the highest in impact. So there's various ways of data interpretation here. Okay, so many of you all know that we are all made of elemental energy. We are not just the element. Essentially, we are the soul, but the body is element and the body is carrying the soul, right? So again, as I repeat earlier, everything is the play of 5 elements, and you bring it down to the 5 element theory. Our body has got 72% water. 12% is earth, 6% is air, and 4% is fire, and the remaining is Akash. Now, Akash is the most powerful and the most subtle of all elements. Even 1% can cause a massive energy imbalance in us. Again, we won't go too much, but Akash is so subtle, it's so mysterious, and it's so unknown. It can have a gravitational force on its own. That's why it's a quantum energy of its own capacity. Our environment has energy. Our home space has got energy. The people that we are close to us can impact our energy as well. So, your energy can extend and interchange with other people in the radius of just 10 cm and even 15 cm for that matter. So if your house is not properly cleansed as well, it can cause a lot of, it's what you call firefighting. You do sadhana, you do your prayers, you do your meditation, but the environment as well as your own karmic imprint, and then as well as the energy space. So we are battling with energy all the time. So it's so important. Cleansing is so important. And I know how important, because I personally do it for the last 3 years. I amped up all my cleansing, especially with salt. One of the most miraculous products that I ever used is the salt scrubs or salt bath, or I just go to salt caves here in Europe, maybe in Malaysia, they don't have so much yet, or probably there is, I'm not too sure, but there is also things called as salt caves, where it's just all salt and people just going there to just relax. It's in the mountain ranges. So cleansing of energy is so important to have that immediate relief of all this elemental energy that is a major play into our aura. The aura is where it reacts and connects to every nerves of our body. So we got to really focus on the cleansing. Now, I can drive financial growth for an entrepreneur and an individual based on quantum strategies, life strategy, which is mapped to elemental. But at the end of the day, if their emotions are not balanced, there's no point in that. And then I also meet people who come to me and say, first and foremost, their priority is always about financial growth. But a lot of people don't even understand there's something called equilibrium, where one can only take on a karmic financial growth based on their capacity. You overload that, what will happen? One other element will break free from you, and that could be your relationship, it could be your health. So it's all about having it in an equilibrium way or a manageable way while we go through this crisis. So a lot of people don't understand, especially in the field of metaphysics. The first and foremost priority, people come and say finance, but I've been very cautious. I don't always just give them a financial advice to grow when I see there's another thing that is causing more severe damage to themselves. So again, always have this thing that element is all an interplay of balance. You have one of it too much, the other will have to give way. So we got to really balance all of this properly, or to the best level. Getting it to a state of perfect balance is tough, but at least to a manageable balance.